time when I feel alone. And it's you that I call on my FaceTime when I need something real. Oh yeah. I work the night shift till late in the PM. I'm California dreaming. You. California dreaming about you. California dreaming about you.
You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Maya Angelou. This day in women's history, today in 1959, Lorraine Hansberry, A Raisin in the Sun, opened at Barrymore Theater in New York. This was the first play by a black woman to premiere on Broadway. Charlotte Friend, a microbiologist in the 1950s at Sloan Kettering Institute, was born today in 1921. She discovered a link between defective maturation and tumor growth in mice, discoveries that were critical in establishing the role of viruses in some cancers. Michelle Bachelet was inaugurated as President of Chile today in 2006. She was the first woman to hold that position. For this day in women's history, I'm Kaylee Davidson.
What's good, ZHS? This is Mads Mathis bringing you your Globe Trot. Today, we will be traveling across the globe to the country of Ukraine, where an ongoing crisis is taking place. After months of warning, Vladimir Putin ordered for the demilitarization of Ukraine on Thursday, February 25th. But some of you may be wondering, why does Russia want to invade Ukraine?
So basically, Putin wants to rebuild the old Russian and Soviet empire. This is all part of a larger historical concept called irredentism that y'all will learn about in American history and world history. But it's basically the idea that because your country controlled a region in the past, that you, for some reason, have the right to reconquer it now. There's also Putin's ambition to take over more and more of eastern Ukraine and add it to Russia officially. Donetsk and Luhansk are the two regions right now that they've had Russian-backed separatists that Putin is paying and arming to basically rebel against Ukraine because he wants them to join Russia. And it's the same way that he took over Crimea in 2014. If he claims that he's somehow liberating Ukraine, and what he says is that he's denazifying Ukraine, it's a way for him to spin the whole thing to make himself look like he's this champion of freedom when he's the exact opposite. Especially considering that he's calling Ukraine Nazis when Ukraine is the first country besides Israel that has its top two government officials that are Jews.
И этот шаг может стать началом большой войны на европейском континенте. Мы точно знаем, нам не нужна война, не холодная, не горячая, не гибридная. Но если на нас будут наступать войска, если у нас попытаются отнять нашу страну, нашу свободу, наши жизни, жизни наших детей, мы будем защищаться.
At the time of recording this, there have been over 400 civilian deaths and over 800 injuries. There have also been around 2 million citizens that have fled the country since the start of the Russian invasion. But while citizens of Ukraine are suffering the loss of family and homes, the people of Russia are also suffering due to Vladimir Putin's harsh rule and decision to invade Ukraine.
Все катится к чертям. Других слов нет.
The sanctions that have been imposed upon Russia is causing the Russian economy to take a dark turn as the country's middle class is beginning to shrink. Not only that, but the government is also fearful of the West banning technology trade. And in a country where freedom of speech is limited, the Russian people have begun to protest Putin for attacking a country where many people's friends and family live. Though this conflict is between two countries, many fear other countries stepping in, including the US, with Biden declaring Putin's attack on Ukraine unprovoked and unjustified.
Putin is the aggressor. Putin chose this war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences.
Why has this crisis launched a fear of a possible World War III?
So Putin's doing whatever he can to hold on to his power, and he just so happens to control the largest active nuclear arsenal in the world. And he's not as unhinged as somebody like Kim Jong-un, right? He's not a psychotic dictator per se. He's just a dictator who's threatening to use force and whatever means of force he can on anybody that intervenes in Ukraine. And he's specifically threatened nuclear force, and he raised Russia's nuclear forces to the highest alert that they've been in since the Cold War. And the good news here is he's almost definitely not going to use nuclear weapons over Ukraine. Putin's style is a lot like Mussolini and Hitler in that he's constantly coming up with things that he's telling the Russian people are a threat to him, right? He's manufacturing these threats and using a lot of bluster and swagger and language and everything as propaganda to try and manipulate the Russian people into keeping him in power. And as far as the nukes go, Putin knows that if he does launch a nuclear strike in Ukraine, that NATO is almost certainly going to wipe Russia off the map.
To support the people of Ukraine who are currently mourning the losses of their homes and family, people can donate to the following charities and spread the hashtag #StandWithUkraine on social media. For WZHS, I'm Mads Mathis.
But I'm a black sheep, riding through the city, Satan in the backseat. Hey yo, that's me, I run it like a track meet.
Hey Zachary, hi, this is Kaylee Davidson, and this is your Bronco Minute. This past week started the ACT testing for all juniors and some seniors. To help students relax before the major test, all ZHS students were able to participate in the ACT Countdown Spirit Days. From college, sweatpants, and laid-back PJs, students had a blast taking a break from the normal uniforms before the test. SGA recently had a successful friend finder activity after school. SGA officers created a questionnaire form to send out to all students who wished to participate. After compiling all the forms and matching students who had the most in common, SGA officers split the students into their compatible groups. After SGA officers helped start conversations with different questions, everyone began to laugh and get closer to their classmates they may have never met before. For WZHS, this is Kaylee Davidson. Have a great weekend, Broncos.